So, Jon, thank you that you are open to share what is currently happening in Romania. Could you briefly describe what is currently the financial landscape for civil society in Romania?
It's not, let's say, the best one. Basically, there are the European sources that also you Latvian, you have access to it here in Brussels. Then we have a program from Swiss Cooperation funds that it's restricted to civil society organization access. It's managed independently by Civil Society Development Foundation. It consists about 20 million Swiss francs. Then is the European Economic Area Fund that it's more than 50 million for the next years, addressing civil society, the whole spectrum of activities. Then we have a sponsorship law where the companies, they could direct from their profits 20% to NGOs, and these amounts are quite high. According to Civil Society Development Foundation latest study, it's about 400 million euros per year that are directed to NGOs projects. Then is some subsidies that are provided by the state, Ministry of Labor and Social Assistance, for the social services provider NGOs. But this amount is quite insignificant. And of course is the access of CSOs to the structural funds, European Social Fund mainly, where NGOs are eligible. There are two other sources. One is 3.5%. So me as a citizen, I could send a form in April naming an organization that I would like the National Fiscal Agency to direct, so 3.5% from my taxes. It's an old system, let's say, and it doesn't grow as much as we want every year, but it's important source for local organization, for grassroots organization. And the last one is donations. So we have this platform that it's called donate.ro, and where citizens, they could donate. So these are the mechanisms. It's private versus public, but the state funding, so the public funding, a local level and national level, it's among the lowest in the EU member states, because also the government decided to keep the sponsorship law alive, because they don't have the resources to replace it with a direct state funding or local, from the local budgets funding for CSOs.
You actually mentioned a lot of possibilities how to support civil society organizations in Romania. How you think, what could be the like 1 to 3 best options who could be suggested for Latvia as well?
So we at CSDF, we have this theory that an organization shouldn't be let's say stuck with one source of funding. We advise our organizations that are part of our capacity building programs that they should have an exposure not higher than 30% to a source of funding. So that's why we think that in order to have a sustainable funding market in Romania, we should have different mechanisms and NGOs to be able to look to the ones that are fit for their cause and for their capacity. Good practice, it's again, we want to have citizens donating, because you involve them by donating or by directing this 3.5%. They start to look for organizations that fit with their values.
And engage.
Exactly. For instance, we just launched a barometer about the perception of Romanian citizens towards civil society. And we see there that a lot of citizens, they are using this possibility to direct 3.5% to an NGO. They think 2/3 of them, they think that democracy cannot exist with civil society, and 50% of the Romanian citizens, they trust civil society. So still civil society, it's on a level of trust that is much higher than, for instance, trade union, employers, or political parties.
Now we are in Brussels, and the negotiations about the next EU budget is starting. So from your perspective, what could be the suggestions from your side? What should be there included? And also maybe mostly about the SER, what there should be improved for the next period?
First of all, it's doubling the amount that we used to have on the previous programs. Now, Agora consists of culture, media, and the former SERV. The justice program is separately. We are talking about more than 8.5 billion euros. Where I'm critical towards the proposal of European Commission, it's about the operational grant, and second, because we are both from Central and Eastern Europe, is the geographical imbalances. We'll see on some projects that most of the money are going to all member states. So here my plea towards the European Commission is that after the first calls to balance the funding and to provide extra points for organizations from geographical areas that were not represented. And my third important request to the European Commission is to keep in place the civic dialogue group in the Agora program, meaning that we would like to be consulted extensively about the changes in the program, about the calls. And so these are the main, let's say, recommendations that I put it forward on my report on Agora and Justice program.
It's really nice to hear that actually we have here in Brussels some voices that is the same as Latvians are asking for the European Commission for the next EU budget.